setting is a Catholic grade school I'll call St. Crispin's in the early 1970s. Our principal was a priest, Father M. He was young and had flair, the rarest of priestly attributes, and was something of a star. In the schoolyard, however, lurid rumors swirled. The idea was that Father M liked boys. He had a summer cottage on the shore where boys were invited for spaghetti dinners, said to end in naked group chases through the woods. You half wanted to be invited. The spaghetti dinner was a rite of passage at St. Crispin's, the ultimate manly escape. The thought that there might be boys among us Father M had actually victimized, such eventualities lay beyond rumor, beyond the thinkable. And who knew what to believe anyway? Stories were not acts of truth, but assertions of status. This is a story about a priest I knew and what he did to me. I was not molested exactly, but something happened. Throughout history, the victim and perpetrator relationship has been framed as one centered in fear and control. In 2016, the Journal of Trauma and Dissociation explains that social scientists and scholars should reframe their work and look at these interactions with more nuance. The abused and abuser were, at one time, simply the relationship between adults and children. These abusive relationships form trauma inducers that can imprint negative emotions and thoughts and even elicit physical reactions for the survivor. For author Rand Richards Cooper, his own encounter with abuse at the hand of a Catholic priest challenges the power dynamics of abused and abuser, but ultimately still ends up traumatizing him for life. The Labyrinth and One Boy's Story, an adaptation of the works of Rand Richards Cooper. Father M had been attentive, taking pains to make me feel welcome in my new school. In the hall, he might stop for a chat or a pat on the shoulder. I welcomed these attentions. They brought celebrity. Children don't understand things the conscious way adults do, but they do understand things. Sometimes less as ideas than as feelings, even physical sensations. And I knew from a certain tingly anticipation that Father M calling me down to his office was risky. Nice to see you, he said. I value your input. You're smart, and you can probably see things around here that I can't. Running a Catholic school wasn't easy, he went on. Parents in particular didn't always react the way you'd like them to. When it comes to the curriculum, they oppose anything innovative. Input, curriculum, innovative. To have an adult use these words, assuming correctly that I knew them, a sensitive 12-year-old with a secret life as a reader, it was immensely flattering. I know what you mean, I said, and nodded. Father M leaned forward. For instance, this year I planned a course in family life and human sexuality, but parents are fighting me tooth and nail. I'd be interested in what you would do in my position. What would you do? I don't know, I said. Well, let's imagine you're the teacher, and today's topic is nocturnal emissions. How would you teach that? My ears burned. There it was again, that intellectual flattery. That's easy, I said. Nocturnal emission, that's when you sleep and you have a dream in the night. You dream about sex, and in your sleep you ejaculate. Father M gave a shrug of utter simplicity. You see, if I had a few more adults around here like you, my job would be a lot easier. From there, we went on to other teachable topics. Masturbation, intercourse. I don't remember how long the session lasted, but I do remember how it ended, with Father M leaning back and smiling. You'll have to come to the shore sometime this summer. We have terrific spaghetti dinners. It's a lot of fun. I nodded. A silence followed, and then I asked him, do you think you would ever get married someday? Married? He stroked his beard and looked intently at me. As priests, we can't do that. We have to be celibate. I know, but do you think you ever would? You know, fall in love with a woman and stop being a priest? He nodded and smiled ever so slightly as if to say, touche. He had made a move and I had countered it, blocked it. Check and checkmate. I left that part of my life behind. As for Father M, not too many years later, he was transferred out of the area and out of education. Some months before the current scandals besetting the Catholic Church, I heard from Father M. A letter, out of the blue. He had followed my career. He wrote, I just wanted to let you know that I do think of you, and that I'm understandably happy that our school played some small part in your formation. Letter startled me. So reckless, betraying an impulse one can only call pedophilic. Unable to refrain from stroking the memory of a little boy's looks? If Father M was this blatant now, I wondered, how must his behavior have looked back then? Why hadn't someone done something? My encounter in Father M's office was anything but simple. So much was going on so many levels. Yes, Father M was taking advantage, but I was gaining advantages too. For instance, he had invited me to one of his infamous spaghetti dinners, a fact I couldn't wait to run and tell my peers. A story to bolster my status, a usable asset. I knew what he was doing was wrong. I understood just how cleverly he had seduced me, but how can I say this? It felt good to be desired, to be admired and delighted. I knew I didn't have to answer his questions about sex either, but the truth is, I wanted to. To a 12-year-old, breaking a taboo carries a thrilling anticipation of the brimming, all but unimaginable adulthood to come. I knew this, and the knowing gave me weapons. I could parry and dodge, even hit back. He was victimizing me, but felt powerful. As for what transpired in that tiny office hidden in the labyrinth, it's important to note that it could have been much more. Sexual victimization exists on a spectrum, and would I be more hurt, more damaged if Father M had crossed the line into touching? Presumably, yes. This is not at all to support the notorious and grotesque claim that the child is the seducer of the adult. A priest's transgression brought me into a room where I saw things and understood. Desire, deception, power, strategy, sin, the insistence of need, and the deep mixed nature of all personal transactions. I am understandably happy that our school played some small part in your formation. He had the audacity to write. The irony of it. The awful, impossible, sad irony.